Thank you for watching and listening. I want to talk about love spells. This is something that is practiced by men and women as long as they are low vibrational, as long as they are insecure, as long as they are toxic. People who are not confident, people who don't have what it takes, will always resort to such things. And especially for men who are insecure, toxic, not confident, not successful, they almost always use love spell to humble a woman who's out of their league. Okay, a woman who is generally, if you're independent, you're more capable, you're better than them, these low vibrational toxic men will resort to doing that. And for the females who do love spells are the same thing. Because you are insecure, that's the reason why you have to do such things. You are not able to accept no, you're not comfortable in your skin, you're not confident enough to go and pursue your goals and dreams, so you resort to projecting by controlling other people because you cannot control yourself. I am very anti-love spell because it can destroy people's life. Okay, it can ruin people's life and their families. I just want to share one thing that happened when we were living at the rental flat while I was still living with a stepmother before I found out a lot of these things. So sometime at about 2 to 2:30 a.m., there's a Malay man. He kept knocking on the door, pleading, calling out her name, Azhar, Azhar, buka pintu, Azhar, Azhar, like that. Talking about how he wants to see her, he has to meet her, and it went on for quite some time. We just chose to ignore. So I thought something seems odd because at that timing, why would you come and look for somebody and pleading with them to open the door to meet them, like you're desperate to meet them? So come to find out, she has been going out with somebody's husband. And I remember pleading with her, lelaki orang tu lepaskanlah, tu lelaki orang, lepaskanlah, lepaskanlah. I was telling her, please let that go. That's somebody's husband. Let him go. Let him go. You know. At that point, I was still very passive. I was still too nice to the wrong people. And then her reply was, aku ni suka lah. Apa kau mak nenek ke apa? Kau nenek ke apa? Like that. So her reply was, I do what I want. Your grandmother, your naggy grandmother. So I don't know what happened after that, but I do hope that guy, the spell broke off somehow. And love spell usually comes with dominance and obedience, as in the person will be dominated and obey, and they have difficulty saying no, even though they want to say no, but they cannot because you will obey and do whatever people tell you. You're like enchanted. And that will destroy people's life because if it happens to the wrong person who happens to be very, very weak, energetic wise, that person can go crazy. And I was talking about how my sister ended up marrying the man that she never wanted to marry in the first place, and how she went from a more confident person to somebody who is so fearful and will listen to everything their husband says, to a point where she will get aggressive with you, try to intimidate you into silence should you point anything out, especially if it's in regards to her husband and the way the husband has treated her and the way her behavior changed. So this kind of thing still exists. It's being practiced by anyone and everyone you can think of, as long as they're low vibrational, they're self-centered, and they're lazy. Instead of working on themselves, instead of being confident, instead of getting to know themselves first, working on their own insecurities, they decide to project it by trying to control an innocent person, and especially toxic, insecure men who have mothers who are emotionally incestuous to them. Okay, they will go to great length out of their ego because they know they are not qualified, they know they are not good enough, they know they are not man enough, they know they are not the provider enough. So they need to go and soothe their ego by humbling a woman with potential to succeed by resorting to such dark rituals. Toxic men will do this a lot. Toxic people in general, they will resort to black magic, no matter how you try to call it mambo jumbo. They do resort to it. Okay, and I don't have anything nice to say to practitioners who help them with this love spells and stuff like that, dominant spells and all this. But then they are of the same frequency, they're low vibrational. People don't care as long as they get the money and they get to flaunt their skills in some kind of like ego boost, that I'm capable of doing this and that. It can drive some people mad. It can drive some of the targets crazy, especially if they're very weak and have very little protection. They can go crazy. They can behave out of character, and their reputation will be ruined. And that's the reason why, if you meet me, if I have to tell you the truth, I will tell you the truth, regardless of what your response are. Because it's unfair. It's unfair to see some of them suffer for many, many years. Because if the love spell doesn't work, if the person doesn't chase after you, that person might come off as crazy. They get sick, physically sick. Because the negative entity that has attached drain them of their energy, and hence we're coming a lot of bad luck, bad health, and whatever bad things to happen, because it's all just energy at the end of the day. It destroys people's family. It destroys somebody's self-esteem. So another thing I want to talk about is, if the person has been targeted, okay, and sometimes you don't know who did it, because they at the same time have this thing where they cloak the energy at the same time. So sometimes when you go to healers, they are not able to tell you who did it because they can't tell. They cloak the energy well enough. So even the healers themselves, in order to protect their own energy, cannot go any further. So usually the victim, if it happens to them, you feel suddenly we keep thinking about them more often, and to a point you start dreaming of them, and you feel this need, this desire, this pull, this energetic pull, this urge to call them, to meet them, to look for them, because that's not you, that's them performing those rituals to get you to chase them. And let me tell you this, some of these toxic men, okay, I would call them mummy boys, especially. It's usually those men with emotionally incestuous female figure in their family. Okay, they only do this to women as specific targets. For toxic men, they see women who are independent and capable, women who have potential, who are better than them, as like a challenge. They don't want to be with you, but they enjoy the challenge to see you kowtow to them, to humble you, to sabotage you, just so you will go to them and then they will reject you. It's like an ego boost for them. Okay, and for the targets, if it's gone on for a long time, sometimes it goes on for many decades, to a point that they have no desire to get married, no desire to have relationships. If that is your 100% your choice, that's a different story. But when it's manipulation like that, it's unfair, because you mess with people's life. And some men out there, they want that. They want you to be old maids. They enjoy getting you to that level of being labeled a spinster. There's nothing wrong with it if it's a genuine choice, but there's something wrong with it if it's because of sabotage and manipulation. So what happened is, the victim will have no desire to go out much, be more isolated. They self-isolate a lot, and they have no interest in the gender that they're attracted to. They constantly think of somebody, like pining for somebody. That's happen when they the dual cloak their energy, so you can't tell who you're pining for. Okay, if they never cloak their energy, you constantly miss that person. You constantly feel the urge to call them, constantly want to meet them, have this desperation to meet them. And to a point, if the ritual is dark enough, and if that target is in a very low vibrational state, they will start crying. It gets to that point. Okay, and you can feel your body. The thing is, when the energy is not yours, your body try to warn you, because your body is always trying to protect you. You can feel like an overwhelming energy outside of your body, and that's when you often see people who are victim of such things. They tend to have a bit of like a frozen body symptom, but at the same time, what's the best word to explain it? They get restless, because the energy that's trying to get in, and the body trying to protect, to prevent it from going in. Because you can't see these spiritual attacks, but it manifests in illnesses, in abnormal behavior, out of character behaviors. And for some, it really can drive them mad, and then the person looks like a stalker. The person will look for them, will camp out outside their house, and things like that. This is not fair, because it's not from genuine craziness, genuine delusion. It's because of manipulation through spiritual attacks. So that's the reason why, get to know yourself, always cleanse your energy, always protect your energy, because you just don't know whose energy is latching onto you. Because sometimes their energy, you can't shake it off. You keep thinking about them, or randomly the thoughts of them keep coming up. That's because that person is an energy vampire. Okay, and they have done spell works. No, some of them knowingly do spell work to latch onto you. Okay, and I know of people whose love life have been sabotaged up to their 40s, to their 50s, because some toxic people, okay, especially toxic men, they see people, especially women, especially independent women who are independent, or who are smart, or who are not very submissive, who at least don't fake the submissiveness. They see them as a challenge and as a possession. They don't want to be with you, but they enjoy knowing that nobody can get you. They enjoy seeing you unhappy. They just cannot see you with having a relationship with other men. They want to sabotage that love life of yours. And hence the reason why, for some, it goes on to many decades. Because they keep paying for the rituals, or the rituals they pay is so dark that by the time you find out, 20 years pass by, you're in your 50s, you're already in your 60s. People go to great length to sabotage you. And by the way, sometimes it can be females who do that, because they just don't want to see you be happy. They're jealous. Okay? And let's be frank, women also sabotage one another a lot. Okay, they can be married with children, happily married, well supported, live in a good house, don't have to work, and yet they cannot see another woman happy. They just want to see you unhappy, because they are so insecure. They want to project it onto you. Okay, pray a lot, cleanse your energy, call back your energy, protect your energy, discern and set boundaries. Thank you for watching and listening.